Experts are warning that the vast majority of people are simply not ready for an EMP-caused blackout that would be resulting from an electromagnetic pulse, either from a detonating nuclear device in the atmosphere or from a massive solar flare, a CME, a coronal mass ejection, something that actually almost happened 2 years ago, where we almost had another Carrington event. And so experts are putting out the word that the civilian population get ready just in case. Of course they're not ready. I mean, they're not even capable of having a conversation about anything other than sports entertainment or celebrity gossip. How can we possibly imagine that the people would be ready for such a catastrophic event? That's just a crazy conspiracy theory. That's something I saw on television. That's like right out of the Revolution show. I saw something on the National Geographic about that. If there was a cyber attack, that was a very scary show. No, it's actually a very real possibility, and that's one of the reasons why the government has been preparing for the massive breakdown of society. Through the massive ammo purchases over the last few years, we've been seeing that the Department of Homeland Security has been just purchasing hundreds of millions of rounds for officers. We've been seeing local police departments get equipped with military-style vehicles. And the Earth just... Oh, that's an old telegraph machine, by the way. The Carrington event, as this is called, is named after a solar flare that hit in 1859. It was named after Richard Carrington, an astronomer who sort of saw it and pieced things together. And it knocked out the telegraph system in North America and Europe. Very devastating. And the experts are warning that if such a thing happens today, it would be absolutely devastating, causing trillions of dollars in damages. And what is particularly interesting is that some of the mainstream media is just now reporting that we almost had that exact scenario 2 years ago. Forbes magazine has just got around to finally letting everybody know a massive solar superstorm narrowly missed, blasting the Earth back into the Dark Ages, it says. A couple other mainstream publications are just now picking up this massive solar flare that narrowly missed and would have caused a modern-day catastrophe, Carrington event. But you know what? You can just trust your government. They'll just take care of you. Those FEMA camps will be nice and comfortable for you. I'm sure they have Tempur-Pedic mattresses on the cots so that you can sleep and just be nice and comfortable. They'll have nice flat screen TVs for you and have movie night at the FEMA camp. That's fantastic. But you know what? You're just a crazy conspiracy theorist, right-wing extremist prepper if you dare have some, weapons to defend yourself, a decent amount of storable food, long-term food supply, sustainable off-the-grid type of a system. Those people are dangerous, terrorists. Just trust your government to do it. But the government has secretly been spending countless hundreds of millions of dollars, perhaps billions of dollars, trying to safeguard America's infrastructure from just a system. All the more reason to get yourself a bug-out bag just in case something like this happens, or a cyber attack from our good friends over there at Communist China. Who could probably shut down large portions of the electrical grid. There was a blackout in New York a couple years ago that they said was just a mistake, or just a typical failure, which actually might have been a cyber attack that they were covering up because they didn't want people to panic. So a massive solar flare just hit a couple weeks ago, causing some radio interference and blackouts. And this current solar cycle is supposed to peak around early 2015. So we have almost another year to go where it's a very real possibility of a revolution-style Carrington event catastrophe, which actually might be the only thing that saves humanity. It would actually cause people to, get outside and get to know their neighbors, to, have bonfires and barbecues instead of just sitting in their house, zombified, staring at their cell phones or their flat screen televisions. Wait, that's just not enough, of course. You need to mount your smartphone onto your face with your Google Glass or your Oculus Rift. You're not spending enough time isolating yourself and worshiping the Luciferian digital technology. So you just need to mount that on your face or put the Oculus Rift glasses on and put some earphones on to just totally tune out the last remaining human interactions that you're having, right? Now, I don't like the fearmonger. I don't like fearmongers at all. This is just a cautionary tale. It's sort of like having insurance. You know, you have auto insurance just in case you get into a car accident. You have health insurance just in case you have some catastrophe and you ring up hundreds of thousands of dollars in medical bills. You know, and if you look at the worst case scenario, I mean, you look at these people like what happened back in the 1950s with the duck and cover drills. People thought that America was going to get nuked in the Cold War, and people were panicking and fearing the worst case possible scenario. So I don't like people to do that, but I do like people to be prepared. Have a bug-out bag. Keep one in your vehicle. Have bug-out bag for every member of your family. Just go and do some research on a bug-out bag and what it is and what you should put in there, what kinds of things you should have. Because someday you might wake up, or who knows, just be on the way to or from work, and all of a sudden, all the power is going to go out. A very real possibility. And if this potential massive CME, coronal mass ejection phase passes, of course, the very real threat of cyber terrorism, or just a blackout false flag, always remains. So just a heads up. Thank you, mainstream media, for finally letting us know about this dangerous threat. Just 2 years after it finally happened, and it's very, very hush hush because they don't want people to panic. So they're secretly preparing, trying to prevent the technology, the infrastructure, the electrical grid, etc., from being shut down. Because if you're on your way to or from work, or at work, and you're trying to get home and all the electricity shuts off, you're probably going to have to walk. There's probably going to be so many car accidents from people just panicking and not obeying the traffic rules where you're supposed to, let one person go and then the next person to the right goes. They're not going to follow that kind of rule. Everyone's going to be out for themselves, and it's probably going to be virtually impossible to even drive a car on the road. So this may not happen. A lot of times, people's worst fears never do happen, but it's good to have a moderate preparation plan. So there you go. That is when we talk about a Carrington event. That's what we're talking about. The one that narrowly missed back on July 23rd, 2012, was actually bigger than the 1859 Carrington event. There was a similar one in 1989 that caused blackouts in Canada for 9 hours, even caused some problems in New Jersey. So just a heads up, if you don't have one now, get a bug-out bag. And this explains why the Department of Homeland Security has been preparing for massive social unrest, because you probably can't even begin to imagine what the first few weeks would be like if a large portion of the country were to lose all power. So that is why they are secretly preparing, using military vehicles, getting the FEMA camps ready. So just a heads up. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're new. Check out some of the previous videos and the playlists. And stay tuned because there's more videos coming soon.